This is a Jmix exclusive.
You had talked about, towards the end of Death Row, after Tupac's death, everybody, kind of getting deals and wanting to leave. In your opinion, did you ever see Tupac unhappy at Death Row? Do you think Tupac was going to stay at Death Row Records?
I'm not sure what he was thinking, if he was just planning on using that up for what he could and then moving on to a new thing, which, I mean, that's what most people do, even in football, You go to the team you think you're going to win the Super Bowl and you win the Super Bowl, and then you go somewhere else. That ain't going to win the Super Bowl, but they're paying you more money. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing to me. I think that he probably knew that Death Row, when he got out of jail, Death Row was the hottest label out, the hottest. And he'd already won a Grammy for Dear Mama. It wasn't like he was just some punk-ass brand new artist or something like that. I mean, the guy was already established. But I think that he, like a lot of smart people, like Snoop always collaborates with the hottest new people in the business right now. I think that's what he was thinking. He was going to collaborate and be on the hottest label in the business right now. Whether he was going to stay there for life, who knows? But, I think he was going to get everything he could out of that Death Row situation. And then if something else came along that was even better, that he could elevate himself even higher, he probably would have gone that direction too. And if he was happy with how everything was going at Death Row, maybe he would have stayed there. But I'll tell you, if Death Row had fallen apart the way that it kind of did, he wouldn't have stayed there, But it fell apart because he got shot. Probably, well, not just that, but that was probably the straw that broke the camel's back. So, I just think that, like I said, with any football player, with any artist, or with anybody, you're increasing your value to the point where you're more valuable than you were before. And if a label, at that point, it's up to that label you're on to either keep you, the same way as a team is going to keep you, or they're going to trade you. They're going to let you go to the highest bidder. And then he would have gone off to the highest bidder. In the music business, I mean, everybody tries to do that,
I know you do a lot of work with Snoop, so was there ever a rift between the Snoop camp and the Tupac camp?
Was there any tension or anything like that, you're saying?
Yeah, was there a rift between those two camps?
Nah, no, not that I ever saw. If it was in secret. It was somewhere that I wasn't, and I was around all the time. I just don't think so. He loved Pac. They were like brothers. He really loved Pac. He was the only other guy on the label you could relate to. He was the other guy. He was, they were the two top dogs. They were it. And, so he related to him. In a way, he maybe even, coveted a lot of the things that Pac, a lot of the accolades he got. I don't think that he was ever jealous or ever disturbed by anything. I mean, Snoop was the same way. You weren't going to jack Snoop for his studio time, though, I'll tell you that. when Snoop was doing his album pretty much at the same time Pac was doing Machiavelli, we were doing this compilation album for Snoop. And, he wasn't going to get jacked for no time. And he certainly wasn't going to jack him for time. I just think that there was a great relationship between those two. I know Snoop went to see him right before he died, after he got shot. It was all love between those two. They still perform Two of America's Most Wanted at the concert. And he's still, now and then he'll play Hail Mary. We used to do a whole series of concerts with Hail Mary in it. I mean, he gave a homage to Pac all the time. He loved Pac.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
Whatever, shut up.